The brand new Avengers game this fall should be an absolute smash hit of a game following both the success of the MCU and previous superhero games like the Arkham series and Spider-Man PS4. So this game has a lot of hype going for it, but what actually do we know about it? Well, that's what we're going to go over today. There is a part 1 of this video, so make sure to watch that one first or after, either one. It will be linked right now and at the end of the video for you to watch. But in this one, we're going to go over new story details that were just revealed, new multiplayer and co-op mission details, more info about skins, and a whole lot more, so make sure to stay tuned. And everything I'm going to say about the story plot has been revealed, but if you want to go in completely blind and not knowing anything about what's happening yet, I'm going to have it in the description and on the little bar on the bottom. You can skip to where it says multiplayer if you want to skip all the story stuff. And if you don't already know, this game is completely separate from anything Marvel before, MCU, previous games, movies, TV shows, comics. It is its complete unique story. So let's get right into the new plot details that we just got revealed to us. So the very first mission of the game we know is called A-Day, and this is where the Avengers were debuting a new expansion of their team and they ended up getting attacked. Captain America died in the ensuing battle, the helicarrier crashed into the city, and Terrigen Mist was dispersed into the public, causing people to develop superpowers. The city was quarantined off, and the new rise of Inhumans has the public in fear, which this is kind of sounding like what might happen in real life in September 2020. So hopefully this doesn't happen in real life, and this game didn't predict the future, but it's kind of sounding scarily accurate right now. But after all this went bad, the Avengers actually disbanded to hide in shame. And if you're wondering about S.H.I.E.L.D., they've been absorbed into a new group called AIM. And as I said, you might recognize them from previous Marvel things like Iron Man 3 or any of the comics. And they are actually staying true to the comics. AIM is being led by MODOK, who's kind of a giant angry Mr. Potato Head, but that's fine. So the story is taking both a unique turn, but it's also kind of oddly similar to Infinity War and Endgame, and you'll see why in a second. So they actually hinted that Thor was partially responsible for the death of Captain America on A-Day, and this has since caused the God of Thunder himself to give up his hammer and travel the world helping people through volunteer work. So once again, he feels unworthy to be a protector, which is kind of similar to what happened after he didn't go for the head in Infinity War and in Endgame. He was kind of in shambles. At least in this, he's using his depression, I guess, for volunteer work instead of playing Fortnite. But there's an argument to be made for which is better there. So the story actually has a lot more in common with games like Destiny and Destiny 2 than it does with Ultimate Alliance or Spider-Man or the Arkham games. So those superhero games were only single player in a huge open world with lots of different side missions and quests going on. And like I said, it is all single player, those games. And we knew this game had multiplayer, but we didn't know quite yet what it was before now. So you can play through a set of campaign missions, all of which can be handled single player. And you can just keep going down the main plot and get through the main story, watch all the cutscenes, big bosses, all that, all you want. Or you can stop and do some hero specific missions, which are kind of just like side missions that are single player. And these will help you get better gear and upgrade them and learn how to use the heroes better, which is always a good idea in games like this, because if it's going to work like Destiny where your level is based off of gear, you're always going to want to have better gear than when the missions you're going into, so it's not just painstakingly hard and you just feel like quitting. And if you're wondering how the upgrading is going to work, like I said, for leveling, you're going to be able to earn both experience and get higher levels with better armor that you find or different weapon variants that you find in the game. And to unlock new abilities, there's going to be skill trees. So in most games, these are broken down to maybe attack, defense, and maybe something about agility or movement based. And if you played Spider-Man, you'll be familiar with this. So, you could upgrade certain things that help your web swinging speed. So if it's this game, maybe you can increase Iron Man's flight speed or the power that his blasters do. And they also want to put a focus on having different heroes be played by different people completely uniquely. So if you play as Thor and your best friend plays as Thor, you could both have them upgraded and tailored perfectly to how you want to play, and they could be completely different characters. So their focuses are going to be on ranged attacks, melee fighting, support, or a balance of them all. So whichever you want to go towards. This is kind of similar to Borderlands, where you could pick a character that was mainly melee, mainly ranged, but this is you can build any character to your liking. So if you want to maybe focus more on ranged and you pick Thor, you could upgrade lightning attacks, or if you want to be more up close and personal, you could upgrade your hammer damage. And with the hundreds of different skins and costumes they're going to have available, and that means if you play online with your friends and he chooses Hulk, it can look and play completely different than yours, adding a whole new dynamic to the team. So if you actually know who you're going to be playing this game with, you can be really smart about this and just tailor your hero for one person does range, one's more of a support hero, and one is more of a melee. But it gets even more in depth than that. So you can actually add new abilities with gear also as you get higher level gear from higher level missions. So for example, you can get shrink rate, You can get shrink rays for Iron Man's repulsor blasters that actually shrink your enemies, reducing their damage and health, or you can add gamma rays to your gear. And these different abilities that you can get for your armor, specifically for one hero, have 3 different categories of offensive, defensive, and support. So everybody's going to be able to choose if you want to focus on ranged, melee, or support, but you can also choose how much you want to be offensive in the battle and be the main damage guy, defensive, which would be more protecting your team, or support, which is probably more healing and maybe stunning enemies and stuff like that. So they're really going for an insane level of divergence between each player's version of a hero, which is going to keep the game fresh because you could maybe play the same mission, but if you just use different versions of a hero with different upgrades, it could feel completely new to you. And as I said, playing with friends is the biggest difference from past superhero games. So you can load up missions and play them alongside with friends, and these are not the main campaign missions. These are separate online only missions, but while they are counted as online only and separate, you can actually play them with AI partners if you want, and it will be your versions of the heroes playing around you, or you can just do matchmaking and find random people online and play with. And in addition to them trying to make the different players and heroes feel different to each player, they're also trying to make all the missions feel pretty unique. They want to have a wide variety of different areas that are, some are going to be super tight, compact, and tons of combat, and some are going to be maybe more open, running around, flying, maybe chasing after something. So they want to have variation in both missions and heroes. And both online and single player missions reward with new gear that will help you level up and XP. And if you're wondering about what other microtransactions might be besides costumes, they are going to have emotes in this game, which I'm sure they'll add dances in. Probably at the beginning it will just be focused on callouts and stuff, but I'm sure they'll add dances in. And within your base, you'll be able to keep an eye out for different factions in the game. And these are groups that will offer help to you and your friends if you're playing online. And this will be in a way that you can go to them, get certain missions and tasks. Maybe some will be challenges that you can complete in any, or some may be specific side missions that you can only get from a certain faction. And if you're wondering what the factions might be, some are going to be escaped Inhumans. There's going to be former SHIELD agents that refuse to join AIM, or just kind of random people and scientists and people like that that just saw what was happening and wanted to do something about it. But even once you beat every solo and Warzone mission in the game, you are actually not done, because this game is going to keep releasing new heroes, story missions, and items all for free. So all you have to do is buy the game once and you'll get all future content for free. Like I said, only thing you can buy is cosmetic in this game. And alongside getting heroes and missions for free, if you buy this on Xbox One or PS4, you'll be able to upgrade to Xbox Series X or PS5 for free. So they've really done a good job at building up more hype with this new event that they did, and I'm sure we're going to get more and more info as we get closer to release, so I'll make sure to keep you guys updated. As I said, if you have not watched the first part of this, there's a whole lot more info in that one, so go click on that for more general gameplay info, or click on any of the other MCU or Marvel playlists or videos on the screen, and make sure to sub. I'll see you in the next one.